Welcome back to the Zenith L622-G restore. First thing I'm going to work on this morning is this clock. As we covered in the first video, this shaft is still here. Now it's been soldered on. Looking at it, you can see a glob of solder there. But the shaft is there where a knob could be put on it. But these shafts are broken off. And all three knobs are missing. So I have these small knobs. These are new, pretty close to what the knobs that came on this radio look like. And these are brand new. They have, I don't know if you can see it, but they have knurls on the sides, little pointer. There's a pointer. But anyway, we have to figure out a way of making these work on these shafts. So, in looking at pictures of this radio with the knobs intact, the knobs probably set about like that, away from the front of the radio. The top shaft, I think I can just bore this knob where it would fit on that shaft. And I think there's enough room to stop right at the edge when I bore the hole, and then it would still work okay. So it would be away from the cabinet just slightly. So not too worried about that one. Just these other two. Well, here's a solution I came up with. Just bored holes in the center of that. Bored a hole in the center of the shaft. I put a lead that I could solder, and then just a metal sleeve around that, and I soldered all of that together. Same way on this one. So that should get it out there enough to where we can put some knobs on it. Alright, what do you think? I'll show a picture of one I found online, and that's the color they are. They're pretty close to what I found online. So I think we've got that. Under control. Alright, starting to change the paper caps. Started with this one right here. And it's got a nice Zenith logo on it, so I restuffed it. I think those two down in there, I know the one has a Zenith on it, it looks like. We'll be restuffing that one for sure. Yeah, there it says Zenith. That way we'll have 4 Zenith paper caps in there. But that one's finished. I've done them in the past. I use some brown hot glue on each end. Put the new cap in the middle after you remove the insides of the old one. So I'm going to work on these other 3. Okay, all 4 restuffed. And of course we turn the Zenith emblem out. Kind of interesting, there's that type Zenith letters. Then we have that type, and then we have even a different type.
Be a nice pillow, but if you had one of these rock hard ab guys, that's not comfortable.
Alright, we're still playing fine. Chassis completed. Restuffed all those caps. Checked resistors and didn't really find any that were out of spec. We checked all the tubes. They were good as I thought they would be. And we cleaned the top of the chassis off a little. So that's finished. And all we like now is repainting that cabinet. And then we'll get everything put back together. we moved down to the woodworking shop garage. We'll be doing some repair on the cabinet and the back before we start sanding. Here's a problem on the main cabinet. It's broken out. See, it should be solid like this side. It's the only problem I found with the cabinet itself. It's just we need to fill that. And the back, it has the two broken corners here and over here. I'm going to tape these plastic washers like that. I'll tape them to this side, and then I'll Bondo the back side around that washer. When the Bondo sets up, hopefully we can just take these out. Then that will leave this repair piece up in the corner. We'll see how it works. Here's what I'm going to be using. This is just lightweight Bondo like you use on auto body repair. Alright, the Bondo is dry enough to where I can do a little bit of sanding on it. And that washer is going to work out okay because I just cut around the back side of it. And it popped right out. There's our repair, so we just need to dress it down. May need another coat of Bondo on the very outside edge right there, but I think that's going to work. Do some sanding. Let's see if we can make this look a little better. Okay, after some sanding, I think that will work. Looks like the other side now. And I did determine when I was looking at this that it was split right through here. So I first super glued that back, but just as an added measure, just put some Bondo down between the two pieces where the split was. And I've sanded that down so it won't be in the way. It's going to be good on the main cabinet. Just need to sand it now and put a fresh coat of paint on. I'm going to work on that back a little more, and I'll show you what it looks like when I get it finished. And here's a fit on the back. It looks pretty close. These are just plastic washers. I am going to use them, I think. Not a bad fit. Okay, in prepping the parts here to paint, you see what I've done here. I've just put screws up through the cardboard, and I have the three little knobs for the clock. They're rather tight on that, so they should stay there when I spray it. These two front knobs, I do need to tape up the center. Don't want to paint it, and that's what I'm doing there. You see I've got the painter's tape on it. And the back, I've already taped up the clock set adjustment indicator, and then I still need to tape up the tone control indicator. And down here, I'm just going to tape this straight across. This whole area will be taped off. The paint I picked out for this is not going to match exactly, but I think it'll be close enough. And by taping that all the way across, and be kind of hard to notice that it doesn't match. Here's a color that I chose, and we'll see how close it is to the original. It's called High Gloss Thunder Cloud. So I'm going to go ahead and spray the back and those knobs, washers, and we'll get that finished. And here's the knobs in the back. Those Bondo patches look pretty good. And we'll go back with one more coat because the edges of some of those washers hasn't been covered good. So we'll put another coat on it. We'll call this part done. And here's the back. And the knobs, screws. It is a little different color where I taped those up, but not too bad. And here's the knobs I taped up. I'm going to have to do a little cleaning around the edges on the insides of them there, but well, that took a while, but we got it masked. Everything masked off that doesn't need to be painted. And I even mask off the labels on the bottom. So I think we're ready to put some paint on. It's about 80 degrees out today, so great day to be painting outside. Alright, time to put everything back together. Done a little cleanup around the taped edges where the paint bled through. So, made it look a lot better. Also polished on these front plastic lenses a little. Cleared them up, made them look better. Cleaned the front faceplate off of where the dial is. Had some black residue around the edges, and I cleaned most of that off. There's still a little bit, but it won't show anyway. And there's our clock. You notice I have the Zenith crest and the Zenith letters in black. I made them stand out a little more. And one last step, coat of clear. We did the knobs, the back, and the radio case, and the front. So it's got a little more shine to it now. And there's what I used. It's a Verithing High Gloss Clear. Okay, we're ready for reassembly. Alright, have the clock wires hooked back up. And we'll get the case over here and mount the speaker. Okay, speaker mounted. Radio chassis fastened down and the clock's in. So now we need to put the cover back over the clock assembly. Everything buttoned down inside the case. So I'm going to plug it up and we'll make sure we're still working okay. And then we got to attach these two antenna wires on the back and put the back on. We're off now. Clock's running. There's radio on. Alright, there's off. Right antenna wires hooked up. Tone control mounted back. Need to feed the AC line through that slot right there. Tone control working okay. And let's set the time. Let's see, it's 3:14. We'll leave it plugged up and let it run a while. Make sure that that's working okay, but I'm sure the clock's fine. And we've had it plugged up for about an hour and keeping the same time as the clock on the wall, so we're good there. So I guess that wraps it up. I hope you've enjoyed the videos on the restore on this Zenith AM clock radio. See you next time. Well, we hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, how about giving us a like and subscribing to our channel? Thanks.